Gaining access, as we know, is the most important thing, because if you don't have access, you have no story, you have no project. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're doing well, strangers on the internet. So in this video, we'll be talking about 5 tips on how to get access for documentary stories, whether it is for photography or filmmaking. I love this kind of microphones. Makes me feel like one of those old school reporters. And if you are the reading type, I published also a blog summarizing the things that we'll be talking about in this video. So let's start. As a documentary photographer, your camera is merely a tool. The real art is in the relationships that you build with your subjects. Because at the end of the day, without proper access, there is no story to be told. And approaching a new project is like approaching, someone who will be meeting for the first time. So you must be open, patient, and genuinely interested in who they are as human beings. Take time to learn about their hopes, fears, and dreams. Listen more than you speak. Make it clear through your words and actions that you see them as more than just subjects. You see their humanity. When people open their lives to your lens, it's an honor and a privilege. It is definitely not a right. Sometimes the story that you imagine is not necessarily the story that wants to emerge.
نتذكر انا كي تدخل بالنسبه لي انا كحرايري كي ندخل السوق نسمع كان الحس بتاع النول هذا ريتو تك 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 40 نول. قلت لك 40 اجي انا توا وحدي هكا تسمع بالحس. تخيلهم انت 40 وفما فيها نكهه وفيها كذا حب. أنا عندي أكثر من 50 سنة. أكثر من 50 سنة. يعني أنا تو عمري 66. فيني أنا مثلا تو نحكي لك كيفي أنا. جيت نعلم في ولدي. أمه قالت له أخي ما ربحش منها أبوك باش تربح منها أنت. لازم نعمل حتى شيء. أنا حريري، أنا حريري، نموت حريري إن شاء الله. يعني نحبها، قلت لك نحبها. أول حاجة نحبها. ثاني حاجة هي مولد رزقي. إذا كان فما قلت لك ما سايبهاش لي نموت. الحمد لله أنا أولادي كبروا الحمد لله وعرسوا محسوب الكل. عندي أولاد بنتي صغيرين إن شاء الله ربي يفضلهم. هذه بنتي اللي توفات. هم قاعدين عندي فهمتني ولا لا؟ هذوكم هم اللي قاعد نخدم على خاطرهم. بالتالي أنا راسي راس العزوزة. اللي كتب من ربي. فهمتني؟
So first of all, before anything, treat your future subjects with care. Cherish every moment that you spend with them. Be mindful of your conduct. Don't make promises you can't keep. Maintain appropriate boundaries while also building rapport. It takes discretion and wisdom. And especially here, don't make promises you cannot keep. One time I went to a film festival and I was talking to a documentary filmmaker, because I always ask, how did you get access to film that story? And they were doing a documentary about an old woman who's a farmer and lives by herself in this huge farm, etc., etc. So I told them, okay, how did you get access? Because the film was very intimate, etc. So how did you get access to film this lady, and how much time did you spend there? How hard it was to get her to agree to have like a whole film crew with her 24/7 for God knows how much time. And the guy told me oh no, simple, we paid her. We gave her X amount of money, we got this grant, so we gave her 10% of the grant and stuff, and we promised her a future percentage of when the documentary will be sold. I'm no reference in what's right or wrong, but I think that is definitely not the way I would approach such subjects, because you should have, because then your subject will be biased. This is like a commercial transaction. There's not something that is genuine or authentic. You're basically making it up as you go and try to get something that will be like a commercial success. So that's not a documentary. You should be focused. Okay, how can I tell genuine, truthful, and engaging stories? Yeah, that's a small ramble. There will be times where your vision will not align with your subjects. That's okay. I mean, be flexible. The story you imagine is not necessarily the story wanting to emerge. Allow your subject to guide the process as much as possible. Follow tangents and see what they lead. I mean, often the unplanned moments reveal the most. As you and your subject get to know each other, I mean, remain authentic. Don't try to be someone you're not. Your unique personality and perspectives are gifts to the process. You will make mistakes, own them with humility and grace. Perfection is definitely not required, only your full, truthful humanity. If you approach a documentary photography project with an open heart, the camera will fade and the story will flow through you. Images will emerge that connect at the deepest level. When the subjects see themselves through your empathetic lens, trust blossoms into transcending storytelling.
نحكي لك بالرسمي فهمت. هذا برنامج نجم تسميه بالي ماسك لتسقط الأقنعة بالآخر وعلى الآخر بالضبط. زاد نحكي لك نعطيك واحد زبدة وين اون بلوس معناها كان شي عندي البوفوار، يعني البوفوار معناها ماديا وتحب معناها سيرفون نجاوبك بصراحة ما نقعدش هنا نخلي ورايا كان العجاج.
For example, right now I'm preparing to secure access for a story down in the south of the country. So I already took a first trip. The first trip I did not take any cameras. I mean, talked to the people. I had someone from my network who is very active in that area. So I invited him and I met a lot of people through him as well. And the next step is I go around in that city, especially near to that subject, before approaching them, and I always have my camera on me. Like I always wear it as a necklace, so that they can start to consciously see you. Okay, he's the guy with the camera. He's a photographer. What is he doing here? I mean, and once they get accustomed to seeing you with a camera, and you have to be friendly, you have to, I mean, just have basic standard conversations with them. If you see that they like football, I mean, talk about football, talk about everything and anything, you know. It's basically like how to befriend someone. It's like being in a first day at school and trying to make new friends. So approach them that way, become friendly with them, and then slowly but surely start to see whether there's a story to be told or not. Try to confirm the research that you've done, so that way you can go to the next step.
معناها الإنسان ما لقى ما يعمل السوق من هنا تلقى شيء وتعمل دورة تلقى السوق ماخ.
الناس الأولين القدم استحفظوا على الزراعة هذيك، احنا بقينا بها مواصلين بها، ما مستحفظين عليه. حتى كي وقفوا المرشيات احنا ما وقفناش، ديما نخدم.
الخبره الاكسبيريونس قعدت كل مره نجرب 15 سنه وانا نتبع فيه ونركب حتى على المكان، كل مره وانا نركب وما ننجحش، كل مره حتى لين بديت نتيح بيه، حتى لين نجحت. كي احنا وصلنا عملنا ونجحنا، وين التشجيع؟ الاوبجيكتيف نتاعي ماذا بيا مثلا نحسنوا في الواحد، نعمل بيبينير باهيه، نعمل بيت مكيفه باهيه، نلقى شويه تشجيع، نلقى شويه اقبال على الشراء، وكاك تدور العجله.
Also be very clear about your intentions and why do you want to capture their story. I mean, why is it important to you? I mean, we're all humans at the end of the day, and we can relate to each other. So figure out if you have relatable points and speak about that, but always be upfront and clear with your intentions, Yes, there's definitely a technique in journalism called seduce and betray, but I think you can only use that technique. Maybe you can talk about it in another video. You can use that technique when you're covering a story that is for the greater public good. So, yeah, I mean, that's a totally different thing.
أعطيني حقي في البيئة السليمة اللي موجودة في الدستور. كمواطن تونسي أعطيني حقي في الدستور يزي. فاهمني؟ أنا نخدموا في البحر واحد تقول زي ما واحد الحمد لله يا رب العالم ما فاهمني.
For example, my first ever documentary that I did, in order to get access to that story, it was through an old friend, an old classmate that we lost connection for a few years, many years actually, and then somehow we got to meet again, and through asking questions and stuff, I found that was a good story to document. And yeah, I mean, that documentary was super awesome to work with. Another thing you can do is, especially if you want to work on human stories or social stories, don't be afraid to contact the local NGOs in your area. I did a lot of documentary work with NGOs. 95% of them were paid. Sometimes it pays really, really well, especially if you're like me and you don't have a crew. So that can be also beneficial, and you can also be a major help for those NGOs because they receive funds to do certain projects, and your documentary work will shine a light on the story and the impact that those NGOs have. So don't be afraid to contact those NGOs and launch a conversation. Maybe you can do the first one perhaps for free, but keep the creative vision for you and have a clear plan or whatever, etc., etc. Anyhow, so securing access for documentary work is such a big subject, and I cannot definitely talk about everything in one video. And this video is maybe for one of you guys who have not done this yet. Maybe you're still in your beginning stage. I mean, I always feel like I'm still in my beginner stage, and every time I learn something new, I'll share it with you. But to keep it very simple, it's very easy. I think I said this in the last video. When people see that you're genuinely interested, they'll think of you as someone who is genuinely interesting and become friends with you. And once you're friends with people, a whole lot of things become easy. I know I rambled a lot in this video, so I'll try to reorganize those thoughts and write a kick-ass blog post and link it below. I'll see you in the next time. Enjoy your stories and feel free to write a comment. I mean, let's have a chat below. See you. Good night. Well, good day. Good night or good day, wherever you are in the world.